Mikey, I am sorry. Thank you. I'm late again. I'm sorry.
Where have you been?
Well, the Night Stalker wasn't going to watch itself. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Can you believe this is the first Valentine's Day I've spent probably in my entire life without a lover?
Well, that's how I spend every Valentine's Day.
Speaking of, Mikey, where did you find this place? Where in the whole city of New York can you find a place where we can eat inside at a diner without a mask on?
Sharon, it's a set.
That would explain the camera.
And the lights.
Oh, you're right. Valentine's Day. Just like every other holiday this year. Brings up how much we've all lost. Halloween. Now, you know I'm the undisputed queen of Halloween, and this year just made me realize how much I'm missing out on touring the world.
Yeah, those were the days.
The New Year's. Something that promised that maybe there would be shinier days ahead of us. And here we are. And then Valentine's Day. Sure, it's no news to you about what's happened to me this year. Just being reminded of how much I missed being in love.
Oh, it's called single.
Really? I don't know, Mikey. 100% of my relationships have ended up in failure. I mean, who does that? Oh, single people. Goodbye touring. Goodbye New Year's promising a new day. Goodbye love.
Bye-bye love.
Bye-bye happiness.
Bye-bye love. Bye-bye happiness. Hello loneliness. I think I'm gonna cry. Bye-bye love. Bye-bye sweet caress. Hello emptiness. I think I'm gonna die. Bye-bye my love, goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those undecided and those in between, and well, those who just don't give a fuck. Are you broken-hearted, spending Valentine's Day all alone? Has your fiance of the last 7 years that you have the day you met tattooed to your ring finger suddenly pick up and leave? Well, have no fear, because I'll be your Valentine. Sessions Live and Beauty Bar here in the heart of New York City would like to present Sharon Needles in Love is Dead. Bye-bye love. Bye-bye happiness. Hello loneliness. I think I'm gonna cry. Bye-bye love. Bye-bye sweet caress. Hello emptiness. I think I'm gonna die. Bye-bye my love, goodbye.
Were you born in a barn?
Well, Georgie, I was born in Newton, Iowa, so yes.
Well, what do you want, pig?
Well, I guess I'll start off with a drink. My usual. The root beer float. Hold the root. Hold the float.
What about you, you hog?
Oh, I guess I'll have a ginger ale.
Hold the jur and hold the rail. Well, I'll take the rail. Add a little tonic. By the way, Georgie, when did you start becoming a waitress in a fictitious set of a cafe?
When I got fired from a real one. Thanks for bringing it up.
Times are hard, aren't they?
Yep. Can I go?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you too.
Try not to get canceled. Ooh. But in all honesty, this Valentine's Day has been kind of a time of reflection. I think it was a great poet that said it's better to be really attractive and have had many, many loves than to be ugly and never to have loved at all.
I think that was you.
Well, it got me thinking. I should be privileged and happy that, I've had a lifetime of love affairs. I'll never forget my first one. I was 10 years old. I was in the 4th grade, and there was this new kid in school named Aaron. And no, I'm not saying I had a love affair with myself, because I didn't learn how to have a love affair with myself till I was 12. Which is a love affair that still goes on till this day. Complicated one. We couldn't have been any more different. I was a theater kid. He was a professional kid BMX bike rider. I lived on the nice side of town, and he lived on the wrong side of the tracks. And every weekend we would have sleepovers, and our favorite thing to do would be to sneak out in the middle of the night and go to Maytag Public Pool. In the summer, we used to hop the fence, and the tube slide would be shut down for the night. But we'd take a beach towel, and we would drag it in the pool, soaking wet, and we'd crawl up the tube slide, putting a thin lick of moisture all the way to the top, and then we'd go down on our bare butts. And then in the fall, all the trees would drop all their leaves, and they would fall into the tube slide. And they would drain the pool of all its water, and we'd sneak in, and we'd crawl up the tube slide, hearing our hands and knees crunching all the way to the top. And that's where I had my first kiss. I used to stay the night at his house.
And is your name?
And his mom, she was a great girl, but put up with a lot of bullshit. I remember waking up in the middle of the night when we'd watch Jackie Chan movies or old episodes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, listening to his mom get the living shit beat out of her. In the 5th grade, his mom decided that it was probably best that they got away from him, and they moved away to Oklahoma City. And I thought I'd never see him again. My parents, against their better judgment, said I could go spend a week in Oklahoma City. I remember thinking how odd it was to see people of other colors and to see the red soil. And the first night we stayed together, we wait till his mom fell asleep, and we decided to snuggle up into one Hulk Hogan sleeping bag. We fell asleep, and then I heard the door being kicked open, and it was his stepdad who had found where she had lived. He ripped me up by my hair and said, "You are not staying here, I'm taking you back to Iowa." And he put me in an 18-wheeler and drove nonstop all the way from Oklahoma City to Newton, Iowa. And I never saw him again.
hours and 15 days since you took my love away. I go out every night and sleep all day since you took my love away. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whomever I choose. I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant. But nothing, I said, nothing can take away these blues. Because nothing compares to you. It's been so lonely without you here, like a bird without a song. Nothing can stop these lonely tears from falling. Tell me, baby, where did I go wrong? I wrap my arms around every boy I see, but they only remind me of you. I went to the doctor, guess what he told me? Guess what he told me? He said, girl, you better try to have a little fun no matter what you do. But he's a fool because nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. I read somewhere that a human heart cost $144,000. You think I've just been giving mine away for free? I'm paying for it now. All the flowers that you planted, Mama, in the backyard, all died when you went away. I know that living with me, baby, was sometimes hard, but I'm willing to give it another try. Because nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. To you. To you. You. Nothing compares to you.
Sweet! Trough is full.
Thanks, Georgie. These waffles they're frozen solid.
Just like your face.
Happy Valentine's Day to me. All right, you got me. Don't you know it's bad luck to hit a woman? Oh, I didn't mean bad luck, I meant illegal. Maybe I'll go trans. Not for the social construct or my own personal needs of my soul. Just trying to get on pose. Now, my first serious boyfriend when I was a teenager was a guy named Kenneth Ballard. I was 15 years old and there was a girl named Bree, and she took me to Des Moines because she said there was something I had to see. Illinois Avenue, right along the Raccoon River, overlooking the Botanical Center. She said there was something that I had to witness, but she didn't tell me what it was. It was something known as the Gay Loop. Now, between the 80s and the 90s, there was this about half a mile stretch of street that every street kid, gay kid, or anyone who wasn't old enough to get into the clubs in the GLBTQIA umbrella used to hang out. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I said I was too nervous to get out of the car, and I said, go ahead and take a loop. On the second drive, I saw my very first drag queen. Her name was Celeste Seymour, and my very first drag mother. And I said, let's get out of the car. I was so nervous. I just wanted to kind of shop around. And then pulled up a car. And a 6'2", handsome, dark-haired man with eyes of a Siberian husky came out of that car. He came up to me and said hi, and at the time I had to wear a full face of makeup at all times and had been, of course, sans paint. I got back into Bree's car and I said, please go to the nearest gas station, because I always knew this trick, calamine lotion. It was a little on the pinky side, but I knew it would work. I slathered my face in calamine lotion and I went back and I went up to him and I said, hey, you know how Grindr is now. Hi, hey, yo, and then never see him again. He came up to me and he goes, I know I just met you, but gay prom is coming up. Would you be my date? And it was the first time I had that feeling inside. You know that feeling you think you don't deserve as a young gay kid? That feeling of excitement, almost as if you're about to go over the edge of a roller coaster. And Ken became my first real high school boyfriend. They also called him Rainbow, but due to the fact that we were in a fake diner and the camera is there, and this is a 14 and over show, I will not tell you why they called him Rainbow. But let's just say he was very acrobatic. We went to that prom. I remember dressing as Ginger Spice from the Spice Girls, and I didn't make Homecoming Queen. I lost it to a queen named Jelbatia. Which is funny because she's in jail now. He was 18 and I was 15, and I lied and I said I was 17. He would always have to buy my cigarettes at the gas station, and he goes, I can't wait till you can go in and buy your own cigarettes. So of course when my birthday came up, he wanted to congratulate me by watching me buy my own cigarettes, which of course I did. And that's when he realized that I had lied about my age, which I still do to this day. Ken Ballard. And I never saw him again.
Summer after high school when we first met, we'd make out in your Mustang to Radiohead. And on my 18th birthday we got matching tattoos. Used to steal your parents' liquor and climb to the roof. Talk about a future like we had a clue. Never did I imagine that I'd be losing you. But in another life, I would be your girl. We'd keep all our promises, be us against the world. In another life, I would make you stay, so I don't have to say you were the one that got away. The one that got costume with my Johnny Cash. We were one without the other, we made it a pact. And sometimes when I miss you, I put those records on. Whoa. Someone said you had your tattoo removed. I saw you downtown singing the blues. It's time to face the music, I'm no longer amused. But in another life, I would be your girl. We'd keep all our promises, be us against the world. In another life, I would make you stay, so I don't have to say you were the one that got away. The one that got away. The one, the one, the one that got away. The one, the one that got away. All this money can't buy me a time machine. No, no. Couldn't replace you with a million rings. No, no. I should have told you what you meant to me. No, no. 'Cause now I pay the price. In another life, I would be your girl. We keep all our promises, be us against the world. In another life, I would make you stay, so I don't have to say you were the one that got away. The one that got away. The one, the one, the one. In another life, I would make you stay, so I don't have to say you were the one that got away. The one that got away.
Cheeseburger.
Georgie?
Yeah.
I didn't order a cheeseburger. In fact, I'm the face of PETA. I don't eat meat. So if you could just take this back for me, please. And by the way, I don't think that's a real cheeseburger. I think it's a dog toy.
If it were a dog toy, you'd be chewing on it already. Look, it's a makeup palette. Ever use it? And a mirror. Ever use that?
I could use a mirror. Thanks, Georgie.
I'm gonna need a refill here in a minute. Delicious.
Then I was 19. At the time, I was dating this guy named Jeff Dylan Graham, who was like a B movie teen horror star. And he was so full of himself that he never really loved me. He just kind of kept me around because we were both artists, which, sure, you know that happens a lot. And he left me to date this boy named Elijah. Well, I had seen Elijah on the punk queer Des Moines scene of the late 90s, and he used to hang out at a place called Greenwood Park. And that's where all the train hopping punk, hippie, anarchist queers used to go to drop acid. I was a lot of scenes, And I wasn't that one. There's something dirty and raw and anti-political about it that I didn't understand. So I did what any 19-year-old boy would do when being left for another boy. I went to go find him to beat the shit out of him. So I went down to Greenwood Park in my little Toyota Tercel, and there he was. I got out of my car. I was much smaller than him, so I knew that physically there was no way I was going to get this done. But I knew I could scare him. I've always been good with my tongue. And I walked up to him, and before I could say anything mean, he goes, "Hey, Aaron, right?" When I saw those big blue eyes and that perfect porcelain skin, muscular body, 6'2", I said, "Yes." He offered me to walk into the woods with him where they had this kind of punk, queer, anarchist, like, treehouse hangout. Next thing you know, the person I'm trying to get into a fist fight with for stealing my fancy B-horror boyfriend, the next day we were inseparable. And inseparable for 4 years. He taught me how to shoplift, taught me how to spange, taught me how to hop trains, and next thing you know, me and him were living in a hippie anarchist cooperative outside of Lafayette, Colorado in an abandoned mansion. Something about cheating with queer people that comes so naturally to us. Well, after 4 years, we kind of had to call it quits. I always have fond memories of him. But if it wasn't for me and him snipping the knot, I would have never fallen in love with a lady that would never leave me. And that's when I moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thanks, Elijah.
I'm one in a million. I've got you now. Loving me to death, I'll take you down. I'll break your heart, still you stay. An addiction that you love to hate. Habits are so hard to break. I'll take your breath away. I wanna be your Lucy, Lucy. Light me up and use me. Need me, breathe me. Say you'll always need me now. I'll never let you down. Oh no, I wanna be your Lucy, Lucy. I know this isn't healthy. One and only. Pull me in and put me out. I'll always be around. I linger everywhere. I'm on your mind. You try to leave, but come back every time. I'll break your heart, still you stay. An addiction that you love to hate. Habits are so hard to break. I'll take your breath away. I wanna be your Lucy, Lucy. Light me up and use me. Need me, breathe me. Say you'll always need me now. I'll always be around. I wanna be a Lucy, Lucy. I know this isn't healthy. One and only. Pull me in and put me out. I'll never let you down. Oh no, I wanna. Lucy, Lucy, light me up and use me, need me, breathe me, pull me in and put me out. I'll always be around. I wanna be a Lucy, Lucy. I know this isn't healthy. One and only, pull me in and put me out. I'll always be around. Oh, I wanna.
You know, my whole career you've been a friend and a music producer. This last year, you're like a little brother to me. I wouldn't have done this without you.
Well, Sharon, you're like a big, big sister to me.
I don't know how you got this diner that isn't real, with camera crew. But thank you for listening to all the stories of my love and love lost.
Of course, anytime.
But there has to be someone in your life that you're missing tonight.
There was this one guy. It seems so long ago.
How long?
Like 10 minutes.
Mm.
While you were in the bathroom.
UTIs. Ooh.
We had so much in common. We used the same words. Sup,
Hi.
age.
Yo.
It was love at first tap.
Mm.
But he went away as quickly as he came.
They come so fast. What did his body look like?
No, his body was perfect.
What about his face?
Ain't on.
Mm.
How can I just let you walk away? Let you leave without a trace. When I stand here taking every breath with you. Ooh, you're the only one who really knew me at all. How can you just walk away from me when all I can do is watch you leave? 'Cause we share the laughter and the pain. We share the tears. You're the only one who really knew me at all. Now take a look at me now. 'Cause there's just an empty space. And there's nothing left here to remind me. Just a memory of your face. Now take a look at me now. 'Cause there's just an empty space. And you coming back to me is against the odds. It's a chance I've got to take. I wish I could just make you turn around and see me cry. There's so much I need to say to you. So many reasons why you're the only one who really knew me at all. Now take a look at me now. 'Cause there's just an empty space. And there's nothing left here to just a memory of your face. Now take a look at me now. 'Cause there's just an empty space. But to wait for you is all I can do. And that's what I've got to face. Now take a look at me now. 'Cause I'll just be standing here. And you coming back to me is against all odds. It's a chance I've got to take. Take a look at me now. Take a look at me now. Take a look at me now. Take a look at me now.
Mikey, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, Sharon.
I'm going to race you to the end on this one. Ready?
Yes.
I beat you. I will always be bigger and I'll always be stronger.
Stronger? Hardly never.
Now, I know you've always wanted to know this story. The story of me and Alaska Thunderfuck 5000 from the planet Glamatron. Or to me, Justin Honner. Or to her classmates, Justin Ketchup. I met Alaska in 2009 during Christmas break. She came back from Los Angeles after being kind of an outsider, artistic weirdo that blended the concept of approachable blonde Hollywood bombshell with alien from another planet. We met, and it was just like a refrigerator magnet to a refrigerator. Me being a refrigerator. She was always tinier than me. To this day, she has one of the most beautiful bodies that I've ever seen. I really wasn't that interested at the time. It was great to have someone that I could, chum up with, hang out with, talk about art, talk about drag, talk about filmography, talk about literature. And then out of the blue, she just moved back to Pittsburgh. And the deal was sealed with many kisses. I loved that man and that woman and that alien and that creation more than anything on the planet. Then we decided, after a few years of creating some of the most bonkers, out of this world, underground art, coquette style drag for the city of Pittsburgh, we both decided to audition for something that would elevate our careers, like the show RuPaul's Drag Race.
Heard of it.
I never had any interest in RuPaul's Drag Race because I knew I would never be on it. I was a cardboard queen, a Pittsburgh downtown drunk clown that had no business in the pop world, but Alaska thought otherwise. She had auditioned from every season since season 1 all the way to our season of season 4. I only auditioned so I could feel like we had something to connect with. There was no way they were going to take a bleached blonde, emaciated, spray-tanned, outer space monster, and there was no way they were going to take an Elvira, 80s bimbo, satanic monster onto a show that was based completely around whatever America, Joe and Jill beer can could handle. Then we got the call. Then we got the call again. and the call again, and the call again, to the point where they were saying they were going to cast me in Alaska as the very first couple ever on RuPaul's Drag Race. I didn't care if I was the first one off or the one that took the crown, because we were going to do this together, and we knew that we just wanted to be a little piece of Hollywood. We wanted to be a slice of pop culture. We wanted to be men that dressed as women and made it onto television. And then I got the call that said, unfortunately, we're going to take you onto the cast of season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and unfortunately, Alaska won't. Now, hear me out. Alaska had auditioned for 1, 2, 3, and 4. I had just slopped together a tape, as we're doing now. That was a hard day to go home. You see, back in those days, technology wasn't what it was now, so we had to film separately with friends that had enough bandwidth and a nice enough computer to do these Skype calls. And so the show, something that I wanted to be a part of, had already pitted me against something that was so important to me, and that was just being loved and loving someone else. Alaska seemingly or visually got over it, and she helped me so much prepare to go to the show. And when I got back, seeing her was like, it's like seeing a steak in a mirage in one of those old Warner Brothers cartoons. Just something you wanted so bad, something you've been starved from. She was one of my biggest fans. My favorite thing about Alaska is always she loved me more than I loved myself. It was October 30th, 2013 in Toronto, Canada. I was opening a Halloween show with Alaska and Amanda Lepore, and I decided to go through Alaska's laptop to find out some things that I didn't want to see. But guess what those things were? Things I was doing. We had let something as stupid as game show reality television fame and the applause of our own hurt egos allow us to sneak behind each other's backs, to the point where I had to sneak behind the person I trusted's back to get through their own personal diary. It wasn't any more innocent than mine. We traveled the world. We made so much art, and more important than traveling the world, we created something called the House of Haunt, where we created outsider art, punk rock, drag for the city of Pittsburgh. I'll be indebted to her for the rest of my life. And even though I lost a boyfriend, I'm confident in saying that at least I inherited a best friend. I think I won out on this one. And I still talk to her every single day.
Lucky her.
Yeah, lucky me.
I was lost in outer space, trapped in the darkest place. Lock me up and throw away the key. My heart was black and blue, the rumors were all true, and I knew all I had to blame was me. The timing wasn't right, but when the stars aligned, for once I felt like everything would be alright. We're gonna go, oh, 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 glow in the dark, put on a show. Oh, oh, show who we are, we're gonna glow. Oh, oh, glow in the dark, put on a show. Oh, oh, show who we are, glow in the dark, 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 glow in the dark. We're gonna show, oh, oh, show who we are, glow in the dark. You don't compare me to my past. It happened all so fast. Then you kissed me underneath the stars. So pinch me if it's real, cause I'm head over heels. We got this love thing down to an art. The timing wasn't right, but when the stars aligned, for once I felt like everything would be alright. We're gonna glow, oh, oh, glow in the dark, put on a show. Oh, oh, show who we are, we're gonna glow. Oh, oh, glow in the dark, put on a show. Oh, oh, show who we are, glow in the dark, 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 glow in the dark. We're gonna show. Oh, oh, show who we are, glow in the dark. Destiny works in mysterious ways. This kind of thing doesn't happen every day. We're gonna glow, oh, oh, glow in the dark, put on a show. Oh, oh, show who we are, we're gonna glow. Oh, oh, glow in the dark, put on a show. Oh, oh, show who we are, glow in the dark, 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 put on a show. Oh, oh, show who we are, glow in the dark. Hey guys, I personally want to thank you so much for digging into your pockets and to your hearts to enjoy this Valentine's Day musical rendition of my own personal heartache. Now, I couldn't have done it without so many people, but most importantly, Beauty Bar in New York City. Now, I'm sure in your city, and especially here in New York, you've noticed so many of our GLBTQIA umbrella institutions and bars closing due to the devastation of COVID-19. Now, thank you so much for the tips that you have given to me. They will probably go back to the Beauty Bar, glug glug. But if you want to reach out and help them, you can go to beauty_bar at Venmo. Or if you want to be the most glam rock kid on the street, you can go to thebeautybar.com and pick yourself up one of these classic, iconic shirts. I have many of them. Again, this bar is like no other bar in New York City. It mixes the GLBTQIA community with rock and roll and a hell of a lot of glamour. So, if you can, reach out and help these bars that truly need your assistance now. For only $1 a day, you too can sponsor a beauty bar. I've had so many great memories here. Never remember leaving.
Sharon, just said.
There was this kid who was in my fan groups who was the most fantastic silicone, life-size celebrity sculpture artist I'd ever seen, and he had done one of me. I wrote to him and I said, "Do you think you could make special effects prosthetics to turn me into Angelica Houston from the unveiling scene of the 1990 Jim Henson film The Witches?" I thought nothing would look cooler. He said that he could. I was just looking for a bald cap and maybe a witch's nose, and I showed up with my assistant Randy at the time and my manager, and I wanted to make the biggest scene, so I walked in so diva and so cunty to try and sell the fantasy to someone who was not only a fan, but someone I revered as an artist. And I never saw myself look that amazingly cool. Halloween, October 31st, 2013, is one of my happiest days I'll ever remember, because not only was I being applauded as a scream queen of Salem, Massachusetts, the city of witches, it's the day I met my old ball and chain. My old man. My forever. I stayed in Salem a couple extra days longer than I was supposed to, and we ended up going to the Old Salem Motel and stayed in room 13. And if anyone has the opportunity to feel what true love feels like, it was that very moment. It was mutual. It was real. My personal ego had nothing to do with me being able to feel that I was magnetically involved with someone, and I knew it would be for the rest of my life. For 3 months, Chad would write me the most beautiful, dark, Edgar Allan Poe-like poetry to me every day. And 3 months later, he moved in, and we never stopped not being completely superglued to each other. And in April of 2015, he put a dime in the jukebox and he played the Bee Gees' More Than a Woman, and he got down on his knee and he said, "You are more than a woman to me, you are a man. And you're the man I'm going to spend the rest of my life with." And after about 7 years, my love for him never faltered, but that has nothing to do with the fact that possibly he fell out of love with me. It wasn't 7 years, actually. I looked it up. It was, and you can't make this up, look up the calendar, that you were together for exactly 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days. I will probably never love again the way I love that way. But if I don't start having a discussion with myself about why I didn't get what I want, I'm just going to end up stressing myself out to death about it. He'd glue in the dark. He was my dead dandelion. He was supernatural. He was the one that got away.
This song has all of a sudden taken on a whole new meaning. One thing in common, our time isn't slowing down. But we all got polished pine boxes in the 6 feet underground, where we all rot. Our time is borrowed, we're all just skin and bones. What is forever? You're my addiction, and heaven is fictional. Baby, no place to go. And if there really is a God, then love is his game. Wish I had known it from the start. We're sealed by our fate. We're tender for another round. Some things never change. True love is true pain. It all ends the same. A million pieces fly into the velvet sky. A tale as old as time. Dead dandelion. Close your eyes, make a wish. 'Cause when the wind's rolling, we'll never start again. Dead dandelion. Ooh, dead dandelion. Dead dandelion. Dead dandelion, dead dandelion. Say that you won't leave. Together we die alone. Love is a sick joke. If you're not with me, I won't rest in peace. No. Like Edgar Allan Poe. And if there really is a God, then love is his game. Wish I had known it from the start. We're sealed by our fate. Bartender, pour another round. Some things never change. True love is true pain. It all ends the same. A million pieces fly into the velvet sky. A tale as old as time. Dead dandelion. Close your eyes, make a wish. 'Cause when the wind's rolling, we'll never start again. Dead dandelion. 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 Dead dandelion.
All right, Miss and Mrs. Piggy, even fake diners have to close at some point.
Well, of course.
Pay up. Oh, and a little advice to you two crybabies. Sometimes good things fall apart so that better things can fall together.
Georgie, did you write that all by yourself?
No! Marilyn Monroe said it, you dumbass.
Better her than Marilyn Manson. Ooh. If I ever go looking for my own heart's desire again, I'll never look any further than my own backyard. Because if it isn't there, I never really lost it to begin with. Is that right? Happy Valentine's Day.
emptiness. I think I'm gonna cry. Bye bye love, bye bye sweet caress. Hello emptiness. I think I'm gonna die. Goodbye my love, goodbye.